The J. Michael Show.
Welcome to the show. Our guest today is Jill Jacobson. She is an actress and a stand-up comedian, and we're going to meet her now. Let's say hey to Jill. Hey, Jill.
Hi. How you doing?
I am doing good, doing good. We've been looking forward to this show. There's a lot of things I catch the audience up on. A lot of things you've been in. You've been in Castle. You've been in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Days of Our Lives, Star Trek The Next Generation, Quantum Leap,
Falcon
lots
Crest.
of shows, lots of shows. So let's
Bob
talk
Newhart.
about you.
Bob Newhart show.
Oh, you were on the Bob Newhart show. Cool.
I sure was. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm incredibly proud of that.
Yeah, what did you do on the Bob Newhart show?
I was a waitress. I
Mhm.
was the waitress in the gun and musket room.
Okay.
And I was a recurring character. And I was there when Larry, Daryl, and Daryl were there. Remember Larry,
Yeah.
Daryl, and Daryl? So I was there. We had to stop for the applause when Larry, Daryl, and Daryl came on.
Yeah.
And my first director was David Steinberg.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so thrilled because as a little girl, I grew up, I was sitting in front of the TV set watching Ed Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you were doing, but I was sitting there like a tiny little person
Right.
watching Ed Sullivan and seeing David Steinberg.
I remember that there was an Ed Sullivan show, but we only got one channel in Mississippi, and it was NBC.
Oh,
so
no.
if it wasn't on NBC, we didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they have more than one channel now?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but everything was on an antenna, and because of where we were, unless you went outside and turned the antenna, we might get WLOX on the coast, which was ABC, but for the most part, our local channel was NBC, and that's what we watched.
And now look, you're in the film business.
I know. I've done documentaries. I'm doing this podcast. I got a lot of
How
things
did you
going
catch
on.
up?
Going into broadcasting for years, for 20 years, I was a DJ in radio, and
You
I
sound
did a
like
lot
a
of
DJ.
television. Yeah, I did a lot of television too, and it was just a natural progression.
Wow. I'm a film major.
Yeah. Well, tell me about that. Talk to me about majoring in film.
Well, I went to University of Texas
Mm-hmm.
in Austin when it was great. I don't know what it's like now,
Mm-hmm.
but it was amazing. And I was with all the freaks and geeks, and I realized I was a freaking geek because I was in love with film.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I love film, and I know that's how I got my start,
Uh-huh.
was learning everything, every little nuance of a film that was made.
Mm-hmm.
My first big starring role in a major feature film was Blake Edwards' SOB.
Oh, wow.
And so I was told by Barbara Miller, who was head of casting at Lorimar at that time, she said, you're gonna book this role. It was 4 weeks in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you're gonna book this role. And I said, don't tell me that. I was 20 years old. I was just a kid. And
Right.
I was like, don't tell me that. You know, you're just gonna upset me. And she said, okay, I won't tell you, but you're gonna meet Blake Edwards tomorrow. And I promise you're gonna book this role. And I said, okay, but I'd rather you didn't tell me that. I guess I was superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in and, but the night before, it was in the days of TV Guide. Remember TV Guide?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So the days before, so I looked up in the TV Guide, there was a movie that Blake Edwards had directed,
Mm-hmm.
probably written and directed, called The Carrie Treatment. And I saw that in the TV Guide. And that was the night before I was supposed to go in and meet him in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I have to stay up and watch this, do my homework. And so I stayed up all night and watched The Carrie Treatment. And the next day I walked in so sassy. I was 20 I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in and I said, I saw one of your movies last night. And he said, oh, you saw 10. And I said, nope, I saw the Carey treatment. He said, what? And I said, yeah, I saw the Carey treatment. And I started talking to him about camera angles and lighting, like I
Right.
was a big shot. I
Yeah.
didn't know shit, And I just started talking to him like I was a big shot, and he was just flabbergasted. Needless to say, I was the only one screen tested, and I booked the role.
Wow. Wow.
But there was a reason I didn't get to shoot it. I don't know if you want me to tell you that.
No, you can tell me. Tell me. I would love to
Okay,
hear
I'll
these
tell you.
stories from you.
So I was always heavily endowed
Mm-hmm.
and naturally heavily endowed.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was a serious actress. I am a serious actress. And so I was wearing a slenderizing bra and jeans when I went in. And anyway, I booked a role and they hadn't sent me the script yet. So then they sent me the script, and it was for a young woman, very a free spirit,
Okay.
a total free spirit. And so I was supposed to go to this Malibu mansion. I don't know if you saw SOB, but I was supposed to go to this Malibu mansion, and I was supposed to take my top off
Uh-huh.
and get sunburned. And then I walk back into the mansion and I say, what do I do? My boobs are burnt. And Robert Preston was the doctor. And he said, put them in the freezer. So I was supposed to put my boobs in the freezer. So then I come out of the freezer and they were supposed to be fake boobs, silicone.
Right.
Well, my boobs were not silicone.
Uh,
They were like Russ Meyer boobs. Not everybody's going to know who Russ Meyer was. I know you probably do. Anyway, so I bring them out of the freezer and I'm supposed to say, what do I do? My boobs are frozen. And he takes a spoon, Robert Preston, and starts playing Layla on my boobs. And when I read it, I thought, I can't do this.
yeah.
Serious actress, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So they brought me in for wardrobe, and the wardrobe woman was like the number one wardrobe woman in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
Theodora Van Ruckel, amazing woman. And she took one look at me, put the clothes on me that I was supposed to wear, and she said,
Uh,
you're not going to do this.
okay.
And I said, Anyway, so she took pictures of me with the clothes on,
Uh-huh.
sent them to Blake Edwards and his producer, Tony Adams. And the next day they contacted my agent and said, Jill can't do this role because her boobs are too big.
Wow.
And I got paid for 4 weeks in the film. And that was exactly the amount of money I needed for a breast reduction.
Uh-huh.
And here I am.
Yeah. And so you did have the breast reduction after that.
I did.
Okay.
And I did not do the part.
Okay. Having those boobs, did that help you to get roles before, after? I'm just wondering.
Well, before my first movie, horror film, I don't know, I'm sure you've done your homework. It became a cult film, Nurse Sherry.
Yeah. Okay.
And definitely it helped with Nurse Sherry
Yeah.
and Al Adamson. Definitely. But I knew that it wasn't going to help me throughout my career because everybody was just going to see my boobs.
Right.
And I wanted to be known as a serious actor. So getting them trimmed down wasn't a bad idea.
Exactly.
Thank you for everything, Blake Edwards. I adore you. May you rest in peace.
Okay, so initially, though, what got you interested in being an actress?
When I was little, I went to see movies
Mm-hmm.
and I got lost. I'm sure as you did too, right?
Yeah.
I would just get lost in watching movies and I was transported. as I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
I would go into that world, and it made my life look better. My my life was better because I could transport myself into South Pacific or West Side Story, or
Right.
it was I
Yeah.
just loved it. I was so emotionally attached to the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know, what were your favorite movies?
Well, I had favorite movies, but I approached it from a different point of view. I was a little Spielberg. I had an 8 millimeter camera, a projector, and a little block you could cut the film on. And a buddy of mine and I decided we were going to make an epic science fiction movie. So we start filming stuff that really didn't end up to be anything. But then in 1977, I think I was 17 years old, Star Wars came out. And we went to see that movie. And we were blown away by the special effects. And literally after that movie, we kind of looked at each other and we said, well, that's that. Because we knew there was no way that we could uh, do what they had done. We didn't have motion control systems and all. So I kind of gave up and went into radio at that point.
But you learned everything, I'm
Yeah,
sure,
I learned
along the
everything
way.
about film because I taught myself. But to me, I mean, I always kind of thought that I have a face for radio, so that's the direction that I went into. It was the closest I could get to broadcasting without a degree or something.
What was the movie, A Face in the Crowd?
Mm,
Who who help me out?
uh-huh.
Um,
What are you trying to think of?
uh, uh,
Oh,
da, 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 who was the star of, and you know the movie A Face in the Crowd?
I recall that there was a movie. I
Andy
don't
Griffith.
remember what it
Andy
was about.
Griffith.
Andy
Andy
Griffith.
Griffith.
Yes, yes.
Andy Griffith
He
won
was.
an Academy Award for A Face in the Crowd.
Wasn't
And
he
that
kind of
was,
a charlatan, but he was faking it on
yes,
camera? Yeah,
yes. I
yeah.
encourage all the youth of America that's watching this show right now, please watch that movie.
Absolutely, because it kind of
You
reminds me of
saw it,
somebody
right?
that's currently running.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sirree, Bob.
yeah, and then of course at the end of the movie, they accidentally leave the microphone and the camera on, and you
I
can hear
know.
him talking about people. I don't want to give it away, but it really
You
showed you
just
who he
did, but go
was.
ahead.
Yeah, it's an older movie. I don't guess I'm giving anything away really.
No, let's encourage the youth of America to please watch the older movies.
Hmm.
I mean, don't you want them to know something?
Absolutely. I mean, people think of Matlock and they think of the Andy Griffith Show, but he did a lot of other things. And the Face in the Crowd was one of his absolute best movies, early
Best,
movies. It,
best.
yes, absolutely. He really pulls off that role.
Won an Academy Award, didn't he?
I think he did. But you
And it
also,
shows you
yeah.
where ego
Hmm.
takes you, right?
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with the fact that he was egotistical, and the viewers didn't see that. They saw this loving guy, but then they got to see behind the scenes. Yeah, it's very different. So yeah, movies, definitely go see the old movies because you learn a lot, and you learn a lot of filmmaking from movies like that. What did you learn from, say, movies you were watching in your 20s?
Well, my favorite as a little girl,
Hmm.
and still is the original West Side Story.
Yes.
I and as I grew up and started acting, all I ever wanted to focus on as an actress was unrequited love,
Hmm.
because it was, I mean, there's something so, it's heart-wrenching. It's
Hmm.
heart-wrenching, and yet we all kind of go through it
Hmm.
in a way. I mean, we all go through it. Um, I mean, I don't know if you call the love of an animal or a love of a dog unrequited, but in a sense, you know that you might outlive them.
Yes.
and how heartbreaking that is.
Yes.
And, and West Side Story it's unrequited.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to see him dying in her arms, I don't want to give it away for people that have never seen it,
Yeah.
but you should go see it, the
Definitely go
original.
see it.
And
Yeah.
I don't mean to take anything away from Spielberg, because I would love to work with that man, but
Mm-hmm.
that original was so pure.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was your favorite?
Oh gosh, from the 1970s, a lot of the things that I watched was science fiction, but I did watch other movies. There, gosh, now Streisand and
Me too. I love Streisand.
yeah,
She
things that
affected
she
me in a
was
big
in was
way.
really good. Also, I enjoyed movies that had like pop music in the soundtrack. I would get attracted to a movie simply because they would play a pop song, and I would think, oh, that's going to be in the movie. So I want to see this movie because I was really into music too.
Wow. Wow. Things just started popping in my head,
Hmm.
and now I can't retrieve them.
Yeah.
Um, of of movies that had those songs in them
Yeah.
and lured me in. I was lured in. I was lured in. How do you not get lured in by
Right.
soundtracks like South Pacific or West Side Story? How do you not? They're
Yeah.
so exquisite.
Exactly. I'm
You know,
recalling a movie, an earlier Clint Eastwood movie. I I can't get the name of it, but he was a disc jockey and he had this stalker that was following him.
oh,
Yeah.
not speak softly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You've almost got it too. We're both brain locked on
Oh,
this.
come on, help.
Oh, what was it? But she had this.
Speak
He had this.
softly.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, and it's a horror film essentially.
it basically is, yeah. And he's a disc jockey. He's playing like modern music or whatever, and then he's got this woman that is stalking him, and it's crazy towards the end. You got to watch it. But
Well,
I'm like you.
I'm gonna look.
It's
Hold
like
on, I'll get
talk
it.
to me.
We're so close.
We
We're so
are. We're
close.
like right there.
Okay,
We
Clint
can't quite
Eastwood.
get it. Clint Eastwood. Maybe you can
Clint
Google it from
Eastwood.
there. You know.
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna
He's
do it right now.
Googling it. She's Googling it. We got to have the name of
He's
this
amazing.
movie. Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, wait. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
We have to
I'm
do it.
trying to.
Hold on.
Yeah.
God, we should have done this before we even
I
got together.
know.
We didn't know we were
I
gonna have all this
know. I didn't know we was going to be talking about this
I
movie.
know, but it's so much fun, right?
I know. And now trying to think of it. Play Misty for me.
I
That
just
was,
did it at the same time.
I know.
We
Play
did it at
Misty
the
for
same
me.
time.
I
Play
had
Misty
it
for
on
me.
the edge of
Hey,
my brain.
everybody out there, do your homework. Do what
You
we're
know, the
telling you
audience
to
is sitting there
watch.
going, "We knew it like 10 seconds after you said it." They're like, I didn't have to
Right.
look it up."
Yeah. We need to encourage people, although they can watch Nurse Sherry, but it's not very good.
But that movie and the movie FM. Do you remember that movie FM?
Yes, I
That was
do.
about a radio station that drew me
Yeah.
towards being in broadcasting.
Wow.
Yeah, even though I didn't want a stalker.
No, we don't have to do that.
That
Or
was
do we?
fun.
No, I don't think we have to do that. Let's try and bring love and peace and rock and roll back. Can't we do that?
Oh, let's do that. I am so into the whole hippie movement. I wish hippies would
Me
come back.
too.
I
Me
want
too.
hippies everywhere.
Can't
And
we
the
be
today's
hippies
people don't
again?
quite get what hippies were about, but
No. Can't
yeah,
we bring it back?
let's bring it back. Let's start a hashtag right now. Bring back hippies.
I would love to. I would be
Hashtag
the
bring
number
back
one.
hippies. Just use it.
I want to be the number one hippie. I tell that to everybody, and they look at me like I'm out of my mind, but I don't care
Oh,
because
I
we
love
need
the
love.
music of the era too. I mean, it was so wonderful to have that kind of music. Some of the best songs that we have today that are being redone came
came
out of
from
that
that.
whole hippie era. It was the best music ever, especially
Peace,
in the
love, and
'70s.
rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Love.
it.
And what was the movie that Treat Williams starred in?
Oh, that was Hair.
Hair,
Hair. Yeah.
hair.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
Beverly
hippie.
D'Angelo and him in that.
Yeah. People need to go back and look at that. And,
Yes.
we got to bring back
But
peace, love,
Hair
rock
was
and roll.
done like, if I'm not mistaken, Hair was done in the '80s. It was a throwback to that era. It
Isn't
wasn't
that
actually
funny?
done back then. The play was done. There was a theatrical play, but
Right.
the movie
And
didn't come out
everybody
until
was
like the
in
'80s.
shock when they took their clothes off.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Oh, no.
Like,
They're
oh
naked
no.
on stage. Does my Texas accent come through?
There you go. Y'all can't do that on our stages.
You can't do that. You can't take your clothes off. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
oh goodness. We're gonna stump
Let's do a
ourselves again with
Texas
another
show
movie.
now.
Yeah, but Hair was really good, and I'm just trying to think. I'm blown away by trying now to think of all of these different movies and stuff that you and I relate to on, because you and I apparently have the same taste in movies. There you go.
Have you seen anything lately that has like made you feel something?
No, no, and
Uh-oh.
that's the odd thing, is
I
that
know.
to me, there's nothing out today that was like the old films, and they're not even filmed like the old films. It's kind of
Uh-uh.
cookie cutter shooting. They're done
Yeah.
all the same way. All the cop shows could literally be filmed by the same crew each week, and you'd never be able to tell the difference. It's just the characters are different.
Isn't that a shame?
I know it is,
What
because
can
we're
we
losing
do?
the art of
We
true
are.
actresses like yourself.
I know. Put me back to work, please. I
Yeah,
don't understand this self-taping.
yeah,
I don't get it. I can't ask any questions.
yeah.
All they want is a self-tape.
What do you
I
not like
can't
about
engage.
doing self audition, self tapes? What do you not like about it?
I don't meet anybody.
Yeah, there's
I like
nobody there.
meeting people. I mean, I'd like to just, what we're doing right now is more of a meeting than what I'm getting on a self-tape. At
Yeah,
least I can see your face in front of me. I don't see the people I'm auditioning for.
yeah,
And that always worked for me. I mean, I would meet somebody and I would engage them, or I'd tell a joke,
yeah,
even if it was a dramatic role,
yeah.
and I'd book a job.
Uh-huh.
That's why I booked so many jobs.
So it's
With
the interaction, it's the
Snoozer.
talking back and forth that you miss.
Don't you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Even though you're on Zoom, you and I are like friends now, and we're talking and we're carrying on a conversation. And this is wonderful. Even though it is being recorded and it is a show, it's the two of us
Talking.
interacting with each other. Yeah, and
Right.
I'm learning more and more about you. I want to learn more and more about you and your acting. And tell me something. Tell me something funny that has happened to you while you were shooting something, anything. Tell me a funny story.
I'll tell you one that just came to mind was I was on a show called Falcon Crest for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my first year on the show, they matched me up with Jane Wyman, who was the lead of the film of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Wyman, who had been married to Ronald Reagan, who had been the president of the
Mm-hmm.
United States.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day I was doing this scene where they had the entire cast was in the whole show was me in a courtroom trying to bail her out of any possibility of problems
Mm-hmm.
by taking the load off of her. I was her private investigator.
Uh-huh.
So I was bailing her out. And I was on the courtroom stand and I had to play like I was out of my mind. I had to be somewhat crazy because I was the star witness.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Tell us about this." BB Besh was the lawyer.
Right.
Nobody knows that name now either, but she was a great actress. Anyway, so she was interrogating me on the witness stand. And before we actually did the scenes where they were interrogating me on the witness stand, all of us, the entire cast, had to show up for hair and makeup in the morning. So I had my love interest was David Selby on the show. And so Lorenzo Lamas came up to me. We weren't working together. I was working with Jane Wyman essentially. So Lorenzo Lamas comes up to me. We had just finished with hair and makeup. And he said, are you on the show? And apparently I knew at that moment that he never watched the show. So he didn't know my character. So I said, well, yeah, actually I am. I'm on the show. And there were so many stories, but one was the first year I was on the show opposite Jane Wyman. She and I were getting ready to shoot a scene. And here I am, a film major, working with Jane Wyman. It was a pretty big deal. So I'm sitting there, and it was early morning, and we were getting ready to shoot the scene. And one of the crew guys said, Miss Wyman, I need to speak with you. And she said, okay. And so he leans down and he whispers something to her. And she liked me because I knew my lines. And she leaned over and she said, Jill, please excuse me, but I have to take this call. It's Ronnie. And I went, oh.
It's the president.
Okay. It's Ronnie Reagan. That was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then one other, I was so fortunate to be around the big movie stars of the day when I began. And so I was cast in a guest star on a TV show, and I had to drive to Long Beach, and I didn't know, I got really confused. I was driving to Long Beach, and I was driving, and they didn't tell me where to park, and it was a big guest star, and I was really excited. And so I pulled up, I saw some trailers, and I pulled up to the trailers. And I got out of my car, and I was just so angry. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. And I knocked on the trailer door.
Yeah.
And I was banging on the door, and somebody opened the door. And I was looking down, and I was like, I'm so lost. I don't know where to park. Nobody tell me where to park. Where do I go? What do I do? And then I looked up, and it was Rock Hudson.
Oh, wow. Rock Hudson. So what did he
those
say?
Those were like the treats of working with big movie stars.
Well, what did Rock Hudson say or do when you're frantic?
He was just smiling.
He just smiled.
He just smiled. He thought that what I was saying was funny. And I was like, I don't know where to go.
Did he point you in the right direction?
He said, well, maybe over there. And I said, oh my goodness, it's Rock Hudson. And I shut up.
You shut up. Yeah. I mean, what do you say when you're standing in front of a huge star like that? I mean, you just kind of lose it. So do you ever get starstruck yourself, even though you've been in films and movies?
Well, as a little girl, I got to meet Barbra Streisand. And you mentioned Barbra Streisand earlier. And it was in Vegas, and I just ran up, and I knew where her dressing room was. I figured it out, and I knocked on the door, and I said, oh my God, I couldn't even speak.
Yeah.
She came to the door. Her hair was long and straight, and she had these really long nails. And I said, oh, I just started crying. I couldn't speak. And she said, what are you crying for, silly? And I said, it's you. It's you. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I got starstruck. I mean,
Well,
my first TV show ever was Dear Detective with Brenda Vaccaro,
mm-hmm.
and I loved Brenda Vaccaro.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure most people don't even know who she is, but she was a really good actress, guys. For
Yeah.
those of you that do know her,
Yeah. And now you're a producer and writer. Do you like to produce and write?
producing is really hard.
Yeah.
Um, the secret to producing is doing everything as cheap as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out ways of compensating people and making them happy and keeping them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I learned as a producer. And sometimes people aren't going to be happy. They're just not going to be happy because they're just not happy people. But, my first time producing was a play called Rocket to the Moon by Clifford Odets.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. It was truly amazing. What a beautiful play. If anybody wants to read a beautiful play, Rocket to the Moon by Clifford Odets is such unrequited love.
Yeah.
And but people always try and find fault with you and they want more, 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 and they don't realize that what you're trying to do is trying to do something good for the world without spending a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did with Rocket to the Moon. And we ended up winning 6 Drama Log Awards
Yeah.
my first time out.
Wow.
So yeah, I was just another time crying, crying, crying.
Ha-
So happy.
have you ever wrote a play yourself?
I wrote a movie, no one's ever heard of it, but it was about I have a thing for dogs. I love dogs.
Yeah.
Like dogs?
Yes, I do. I've had dogs my entire life. I have a dog now. She's a Dachshund, which is a
Oh,
cross between a beagle and a dachshund, and she's Daddy's little girl.
oh,
Yeah.
I love dachshunds.
Yeah.
And then my Benny, I don't know where he is, but my Benny is half beagle and half American Staffordshire.
Yeah.
And we are madly in love, he
Yeah.
and I. But the one movie I did write, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to be, but it's it's about, the love of a dog,
Yeah.
you
What
know,
what was the name of it?
doggy style.
Doggy Style. Okay.
I
Well,
know it sounds
that
like
title
corny.
alone should have got people to it.
It did
Yeah.
actually when I was introducing the concept to several of my producer friends.
Uh-huh.
They were completely interested by the name, and they said, "Give us a script." And I said, "Well, I don't have a script yet, but I have my idea." So I told them my idea, and they said, "Write the script."
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, "Oh, shoot, that's hard."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
So, what was
but
your
a dog
idea
can
for the
do.
movie? Tell us what it would have been, or what was
No,
your?
it got written, but it's just not
Yeah.
very good.
Uh,
It's human revolution, which I'm a Buddhist,
uh-huh.
and Buddhism is about human revolution, which is how to find the heart and soul of the
Uh-huh.
human being, humanism
Right.
through your heart and soul. And so my movie was humanism through human revolution
Yeah.
through the love of a dog, which
Yeah.
is what you and I feel, right?
Right. Exactly.
They do make us higher beings
Mm-hmm.
because they're higher beings,
Exactly.
because they
They are.
understand love.
They understand unconditional love, and they'll love
And
you
we'll
no matter
never get
what.
it.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll never understand what they understand.
exactly. The dogs don't hold grudges. They don't hate you because you didn't do this or that. They love you no matter what.
So it's really hard
Yeah,
when you think that you may outlive them.
yeah,
That's really hard, don't you think?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. There was a movie, and it's done in the last like 10, 15 years. Again, I'm stuck with movie names, but it was this dog was reincarnating over and over again, and until it ultimately found its master again, and it went through all these different lives. And I can't remember the actor that was in it, but maybe you
give me
remember the
something.
movie. Oh gosh, what was the name of that? It was Dan Quaid, Dale.
Dennis Quaid?
Dennis Quaid, I think
Was it
was it.
Dennis Quaid?
It was Dennis
I'll write it
Quaid,
down
and
right now.
he had this dog that, or he got this dog, and it was his dog over and over again, and or it was in different lifetimes until it ultimately came back to him. Wonderful movie about dogs, and it might have been a dog's life or something like that was the
Is
name
that
of it.
it?
It could have been. Again, I mean, we're both like locked
And
up.
the
Our
dog
brains
just
are
kept
locked. Yeah.
getting reincarnated?
Yeah. Let's see. So we got to do this again now. Um, uh,
Because I think Benny and I are going to go through that. I really do. There's something that we have.
A Dog's Purpose was the name of it. It was called A Dog's Purpose, and it was a kind of a
Uh,
comedy, but in the movie, the dog continues to reincarnate. And to me, it was one of the most beautiful dog movies, ever made, because you really got it from the dog's point of view.
Oh, it's Lassie Hallstrom.
Hmm?
It's Lassie Hallstrom.
What?
Lassie Hallstrom
What is that?
is the director.
Oh, okay.
He's a great director.
Yeah.
And it's Josh Gad, who I adore. Josh Gad.
Uh huh.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Did you see the film?
oh. No,
You should see
no.
that one. You
I
really should
will, but
see
I'll
it.
just cry my eyes out, right?
Oh, you're going to. You're going to cry your eyes out, but in a good way. I mean, you really understand. How do I put it? I mean, you really understand things from the dog's point of view. The reincarnating over and over again until it ultimately comes back to him.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that's a movie you should watch.
Do you feel that way about your dachshund?
Yeah, my doctor. Yeah, I feel like she is possibly another dog that I've had once, and it's now she's back as this dog. But I don't know that for sure. But I think that it's entirely possible that she could be the incarnation. Now, I before Dee Dee, which is her name, before her, I had a little dog named Ginger. Ginger was a little person. I mean, I don't think Ginger knew she was a dog. She didn't talk. She couldn't communicate that way. But her mannerisms and the way she understood, if you told her something, she completely understood what you said. And she was like a little furry human. That was,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So, what dog do you have now?
I have two.
Okay, tell me about
Uh,
him.
Benny is, I'm sure he's nearby. He's always nearby me. Um, so the irony is, I I go on Pet Finders. Do you know Pet Finders?
I
Do you
know
have
what
a
it
Pet
is. Yeah,
Finders?
I've never used it, but
Okay,
I know what it is.
because I'm a rescuer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go on Pet Finders and I was doodling around and I see this picture, a baby, a baby picture
Mm-hmm.
of Benny.
Oh.
And I knew that my older girl wasn't going to last much longer. She had problems.
Mm-hmm.
She was almost 100 pounds and she was always itching and bleeding, and it's hard for her to walk. And she was almost 10 years old, and she was not doing well. And I thought, well, anyway, I was doodling around on Pet Finders, and I see this baby, and I'm like, to this day, I've got that picture on my phone of Benny, and I immediately contacted Pet Finders. And anybody out there that's listening, please go on Pet Finders and save a baby if you can save a baby.
Yeah.
So please save babies.
Yeah.
They need us so badly. And they're angels. They're angels.
They're angels without wings. They absolutely are. Well, we've talked about your, movies and stuff. Let's shift over to stand-up comedy. Tell me about you shifting to stand-up comedy, why you did it, and maybe even give me one of your funny routines.
Oh, gosh, I've got something on, I'm doing a show on Sunday. It's a bit raunchy.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit raunchy. In some ways, it's raunchy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the reason I did it was I was in classes. I was hanging out with other actors, and this woman comes up to me and she said, you're funny. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, no, you're really funny. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, so if you study with the stand-up woman that I can tell you about, and I will hire you to do some stand-up. That's what she told me. And I said, okay, point me in the direction. I'll do it. And so I immediately got into the stand-up class. And I connected with this man in the class. I was already married, but I connected with this man that was in the class, and he became my best friend. And we would go to the clubs every night to do stand-up every night. We were obsessed with it. And it was immediate. Have you ever done it?
No, never. No. That would be something fun to do, I think, but I've never done stand-up comedy. And I love stand-up comics. It. Yeah, I should.
Yeah, just try it.
Yeah.
Even just a piece, just to do a piece or something.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to commit your whole life to it. But anyway, so I started doing it, and I got addicted, as everybody gets addicted. And I actually did make a short film about it. Anybody want to watch it? It's called Mic, M-I-C, short for microphone. First word, Mic. Second word is whore, as in slut. Mic Whore is the name. It's 5 minutes. Write it down. Watch it.
Yeah.
You Google it. Just Google Mic Whore, and my name pops up, and the whole movie just pops up because everybody watches it. And it's about being, getting addicted. Getting addicted. Your first laugh that you get while you're on stage is enough to keep you going.
Right.
And it's addictive. That's it. And so I got addicted. Yeah. And right now, even though I've been doing it since 2011, I mean, my acting career is way longer than that. But I'm a nervous wreck right now.
Why?
I'm a nervous
Why
wreck
are
about
you a nervous
something.
wreck right now?
New material.
Yeah, and you're having to talk about yourself. Does it bother you to talk about yourself?
Well, like I said, it's a bit raunchy. And but it's all based in truth, which is also kind of weird. It's based in truth. And if I do really well on Sunday, people will they're going to believe what I'm saying. They're going to believe everything I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do. They do believe you.
Right.
When you get up there, you may be telling a story. I love telling stories.
Okay.
I guess you got that
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to
I'm
get you to
sure
tell
so.
us a story, any kind of story you want to, when you can.
Well, yeah. I mean, like one of my stories, I'll give it away now,
Mm-hmm.
is I play the role. I'm not really this, although I could be. Um, in my show, I play the role of a cougar.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Never really.
Yeah, I can see that, where you would be the cougar. You're beautiful, you're older, you're the cougar.
I am older. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I am. Now I'm thinking maybe I should be the cougar, but I never thought I really was. But I've been playing it on stage for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and then I call young men in my audience, and I'm going to have some young men in the audience because you always do.
Mm-hmm.
I call them zebras
Okay.
because I make it up that cougars eat zebras.
Yeah.
And I say the definition of a zebra is a young, very, very young man with hair growing out of his head, and not out of his ears and nose yet.
Right.
That's the definition of a zebra.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I start talking about my zebra boyfriend, Troy, my boy toy, Troy. And that's when it gets a bit raunchy, when I start talking about Troy, my boy toy.
Right. Okay. But you're
I
comfortable.
never thought I was going to have a boy toy,
Uh-huh.
but now I see the possibility.
But you're comfortable doing this on stage, right?
I don't know. I'm getting scared.
You're getting
I'm being
scared?
honest.
Why are you getting scared? What's there to lose?
It's it's raunchy,
Mm-hmm.
and the material's so good.
Uh-huh.
The writing, I have a co-writer, and he and I are so in sync. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll say things or he'll do things, and I may have already said it before. There's part of, I wish you could be there on Sunday. You'd love it.
I wish I
You'd
could
love
be
it.
there too.
You
It's
would
hard
go
to get
crazy.
there
You
from
would go
Texas.
crazy. I'll ask you one question.
Okay. Ask me.
Do you know what a merkin is?
What a merkin is. Okay. Well, that would be an American, right?
Nope.
No, merkin, that's what we say here in the South. Merkin.
Merkin.
Uh-huh.
Merkin. Do you know what that is?
A Southern American, maybe?
Nope.
What is it? Tell
It's
me.
for real. It's real.
Okay, tell me.
It's okay, let me give you my definition
Uh-huh.
of a merkin.
Merkin.
It's a wig for your nether regions.
Oh.
It's a toupee for your trap door. It's a floof for your fluff.
Okay. That's a merkin.
That's a merkin.
Okay.
Now you know what it is?
Now that I know what it is, put it in context for me. Tell me a joke about merkin.
So sometimes when women get a little older,
Mm-hmm.
the bush gets a little less bushy.
Uh-huh.
So my new zebra boyfriend doesn't like it because he sees his reflection
Okay.
down there.
Uh-huh.
So I do the noble thing, and I go to Merv's Merkin Emporium.
Oh, okay. And you get a Merca.
I get a Merkin for him.
Yeah.
But it's not it's not the caviar of Merkin shops.
Yeah.
So it's more like an old deli, it's like an old deli. It's got a lot of history and it smells like salami in there. But don't knock salami. Don't knock salami because salami is reliably delicious and comes in handy when you run out of batteries.
Oh, wow.
So, but I end up not getting the Merkin I want
Uh-huh.
because I want the Lucille Ball Merkin.
Right. You
And
want the best
out of
one.
these Lucille Ball Merkins, so I end up getting I end up getting I end up getting shit. Hold on one second.
I realize you're trying to kind of clean this up a little.
Because
That's good.
I end up getting carrot top
Uh-huh.
Merkin.
Uh-huh. Well, you're
Then
a
I wanted
redhead.
the
That would make
Lucille Ball
sense.
Merkin.
Oh.
So I end up getting toxic shock syndrome.
Oh, goodness.
And then I can't stop doing bad prop comedy
Oh,
because I've
gosh.
got the carrot top Merkin.
Ah,
Are you following me on this one?
funny. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up, actually. Because, I mean, I realize that you're trying to keep it clean for the broadcast, but you're also telling what it's about. And you're
Yeah.
right. It's going to be very,
Well, I mean, anybody
very
that is,
great.
you have a huge audience for this, they're going to learn something.
Oh, yeah.
This is educational.
Yeah. They're learning
Am I
something
right?
right now. Okay.
You never knew about a Merkin.
Yeah, let's shift gears now. I want to shift
Okay.
gears. We'll get into something else. You are a former spokeswoman for the American Cancer Society. I would
That's
like
a
for you
good
to talk
shift,
to me
don't you
about
think?
that. Yes.
Okay, that's a really nice shift for Merkin.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had two series at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
One was Falcon Crest. The other one was the new Gidget.
Mm-hmm.
I played Gidget's best friend LaRue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on two series at the same time. So in those days, in the 1980s, those were good days, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Those were good times.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 80s were plentiful. They were so plentiful. Anyway, so they ask you, your publicist says, what charity would you like to commit to?
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, I would say the Cancer Society because my father died from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, okay. So they put it out to the American Cancer Society. Would you like Jill Jacobson to be part of your organization? They said, actually, we would like her to be the spokeswoman.
Wow.
And so they ended up flying me all over the country. This was like one of the biggest highlights of my life,
Mm-hmm.
not only my career, but my life.
Mm-hmm.
They flew me all over the country to make speeches and appearances for the American Cancer Society.
Mm-hmm.
And it culminated with the Cancer Society Ball
Right.
in Washington, D.C. And they sat me at the table with Jill Ireland and Charlie Bronson.
Wow.
And there's a picture of me when you can look it up online if you'd like. It's a gorgeous picture of Charlie Bronson. Jill was very sick then, Jill Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked her, I watched this because they were sitting across from me. And he asked her, he looked at me and he talked to her and he's, basically asked if he could ask me to dance with him because it was a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he comes over on bended knee,
Oh.
Charlie Bronson on bended knee.
Wow.
And asked me to dance with him. And I was like, I turned to my husband at the time and he said, yeah, go. And so there's a picture of us. with Charlie Brown. I can show it to you right now. It's right on my phone.
Yeah,
There's a
pop it up
picture
there while
of
you
us.
talk.
It's right here. There's a picture of us where he is dancing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, right here. Can you see that?
No, actually, we can't.
How
It's
about
kind of,
there?
there we go. That's a little better. Yeah, okay. I can see it. Yeah,
That's when he asked me to dance.
yeah. So
Pretty cool.
you're dancing with him. Does he say anything to you?
Yeah, he complimented me a
Uh
lot.
huh.
Look at his face. You can see everything in his face right there.
You can tell he's enjoying himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, very much. It's a little blurry on our end, but it looks
I'm
good.
sorry.
That's
You can
okay.
look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Anyway,
We'll put it in somehow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
It's just another one of those situations that I got myself into
Mm-hmm.
when I was a young actor,
Yeah. Yeah.
where I feel bad for young actors nowadays because they don't have that. They don't have a Charlie Bronson. They don't have a Blake Edwards.
Uh-huh.
They don't have a Rock Hudson.
Not anymore. It's like
It's over.
it's like Hollywood no longer has any legends anymore. And there were legends in those days.
Right. What
Hmm.
happened?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. You're in the industry.
Well, I mean, there's Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
Um, we don't have anything now.
I know.
I don't know what happened, but it's like,
Is it because the industry itself has changed so much, and a lot of it is AI, CGI, things like that, and the way that they even film things today is very different from the way back then.
I know,
And also,
but
you know,
how
you
do we
have
fit
social
in?
media today, so you see these guys. If you're following it on Instagram or something, you see them every day. So they don't build up this allure that actors back then you never saw them until you saw them in a magazine or something like that. There was something going on with them. So do you think that technology has a little to do with that?
Yeah, I
Mm,
do. When you talk to the youth of America, they don't talk to you. I don't know if you've noticed this. They don't talk to you because they're on their cell phones.
yeah, they're staring at that screen.
That's all they're doing.
Uh huh.
So there's no interaction.
Mm,
And that's what bothers me about my self tapes. There's no interaction.
yeah.
And I like, as you can tell, I love interaction.
We come from that generation where you talk to people, not at them.
Right.
Hmm.
Don't you miss that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Well,
There,
look what you're doing,
yeah, but
bringing it back.
you create something like this where we can talk to each other. Now, my question at this point becomes, well, you know, the attention span of people is so short. Are they going to get 20 seconds into this interview and just leave and go do something else or not watch the whole thing? You know, you have to ask
Maybe when
yourself.
they hear about Merkins, they'll stay tuned for a
Yeah,
second.
that's it. They'll
Although
go
they're
like,
going
I
to
want to
go
order
Merkins.
one of those.
Yeah.
Quick,
Well,
get
either
me an
that or
instant.
they, you know,
Yeah, quick,
or
get me
dogs.
Amazon where I can order one.
Yeah, they could actually. I bet you. But I mean, see, that's the thing about dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dogs, you have to be present with
Exactly.
them. You
Yeah.
know, they're not gonna.
I can
I just
get on
love
my
it.
cell phone. I can get on my cell phone looking at something. My dog will act like, could you get off that and interact with me? You know, could you quit looking at that?
Yeah,
She'll do that. You know,
they're
she'll
so ahead
push
of us.
herself into in front of me with
They're
the.
so ahead of us. What do
Yeah,
we
they
do?
are. They will.
How do we tell people?
We as humans, we need this interaction to come back because we're losing that.
How do we do it?
I
I
don't
want to do
know.
it.
I don't know. You tell me.
I
How we
want to do it
fix
with you.
this?
Let's do it together. I want to figure out a way
Yeah.
to
To
connect.
yeah. You know what? Something a friend of mine, James Morrison, is having a one-man play out in California. He's done it recently, and I so want to go see it. Haven't been able to get away, but I want to see him
Come
do
see
a
me.
one-man play. I would love that.
Come see me.
Yeah,
I have an Airbnb
yeah. Oh, you do?
to stay here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've
Yeah.
got a place to
Do you know
stay if
what
I go
theater
out there.
he's? Yeah.
Yeah.
What space is he doing it at? What theater?
I want to say, and you know what? I can't pronounce it, but it's a mountain range out there in California. It's called Oji, or something like that, and he lives there, and it's like north of Los Angeles, but I don't know
Um,
exactly where it's at. I think the play itself took place in Seattle, Washington, though, but he does do them in other places in California. And I've
hmm.
often said that if he does one in California that I can get away to, I'm definitely going because I want to see
Oh,
it. It's a great
great.
play. Yeah, I would
Come
love to
out
get out
here.
there and meet some of you guys and some of you actors and actresses that I've interviewed. It would be
I would
wonderful.
love that. Who have you interviewed?
I've interviewed Vanessa Angel, Musetta Vander, interviewed Peter Jursic, who was Londo on Babylon 5, Daryl Larson, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
you. Yeah, you probably know
I know
Daryl.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know Daryl, by the way?
Okay, so Daryl and I go back
Mm-hmm.
in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know how it began. I think we either had the same agent at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, my first big agent in LA was my boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bexey. And to this day, I just adore him. And that was the biggest mistake of my life, breaking up with Larry,
Uh,
because my career was going,
your
it
career was
was,
taken off.
it was taken off.
Yeah.
I mean, I booked everything.
Uh huh.
Big time. I booked everything. So,
So you thought this relationship would get in the way?
my mama, my mom said, Larry's never going to marry you and you gotta get married.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'm having a really good time. I'm working nonstop. Why can't I just keep working? And she said, you got to get married. Got to get married.
Right.
And so then after I got Blake Edwards SOB, after I recovered from the breast reduction, um, my next big job was I got my first TV pilot
Mm-hmm.
on ABC, which was called Bulba,
Uh-huh.
Bulba. Really great pilot. Did not go to series, but it was great. Lots of movie stars in it.
Uh-huh.
And so I got that, and I ended up marrying the executive producer
Ah,
of
okay.
my first TV pilot, Greg Strangis. So I
How many
guess my mom got what she
yeah.
wanted.
How many
How many
times have you
husbands?
been married?
Twice.
Twice. Okay.
I
And
think that
you
I think
would
Greg
prefer to be
was.
single or you prefer to be
No,
married?
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not cut out for it. I'm too girly. I'm a
Yeah.
girly girl. I um I like having a partner.
Yeah.
I don't like what I'm doing right now is so hard.
Uh-huh. Huh.
Truthfully, I would love a third dog. I've only got two hands. I'm I mean, I've got so much on my plate
Yeah.
that I need a partner.
You were
What
busy
about you?
this week because it was difficult scheduling this. First, we were going to do it Tuesday. You had things going on.
Yeah,
Today, you had things going on. And we finally were able to connect.
I'm so
You are a
happy.
very, very busy actress.
Isn't it crazy?
I know.
I'm a big
It
actor.
is.
I'm a very, very busy woman that's
Hmm.
not making any money.
I want to ask you one more question, and
You can
we're
ask
kind
me
of
too
running
if you
long.
want.
Okay, but you do voiceover dialects, and do you find that difficult or easy to do?
It's easy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just so easy.
Just a
Like I,
moment ago, you were doing obviously Beaumont, Texas, when you were doing your mom. So
how weird
that's
is
kind of a
that,
dialect. Yeah,
huh?
I know. Yeah,
Mama. I do
Mama.
that also when when Benny, I have cameras in downstairs in my house,
Uh huh.
and when I leave and I go places, it dings when one of the dogs are moving downstairs,
Right.
and it dings all the time when I'm out, and it's basically Benny and Kowalski looking for me.
Right.
Where is she?
Yeah.
Where's Mama? Where's Mama?
Where
Mama's
Mama
not
at?
here.
Where'd she
Where did
go?
Mama go?
Yeah.
Mama, come back, come back. And I hear them.
Uh-huh.
Don't you hear your dog speaking to you in English?
Yeah. Just they can look at you a certain way, and you know what they're thinking.
Aren't they amazing?
They are. They are amazing.
How many have you had? Too many
Oh
to count?
gosh, yeah, too many to count. Since I got out on my own and in my 20s, I would say I've probably had like five since then, maybe six. And currently, I have this Doxel, and she's just amazing.
But just one.
Yeah, I just won. Well, that's part of our we rent, and we can only have one animal.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I wish I owned this
So do you
house.
feel guilty when you go out?
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, and recently we used to take her, and she gets so active when she gets in a car, she goes
Mhm.
crazy because she knows she's going to get to go somewhere, and she was jumping around. She jumped on the dash and knocked the heater button into the dash, and so the wife said, "Okay, that's it. She can't get in the car anymore." And I miss it as much as she does because she was my little sidekick, my buddy, and she would go with me. I like for her to go with me.
And your wife doesn't want that?
She doesn't want her jumping around in the car, and she
Damn
doesn't want
it.
it. She sheds also. She said there's a lot of little hair. When we got her, this was my wife's commandment. We had Ginger before her had a long hair. She was shaggy, and so she
Mhm.
would shed all these
Was she a
wads of
Doxel
hair.
too?
No, she was like a spaniel, but I mean, she was like Benji. She looked like that. She was a mixed breed. But anyway, so my wife's commandment was you got to get a short haired dog because all this hair. So we got Dee Dee, and Dee Dee sheds more all the time, continuously, and it's these little hairs get on everything. So we still have the problem of shedding, but it's okay. We love her.
I know. It's like whatever they do is okay because they're angels.
Yes, they are. They're
It's like, how can you possibly, whenever I've gotten mad at them
mhm.
occasionally, and then I hate myself.
Yeah,
I'm like, how could I get mad at you? You're like pure.
yeah.
They're so
You're innocent.
pure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't want to get mad at them. I love them so much.
and they know when
I
they've
don't-
done something wrong because then they'll look at you like, "Oh my gosh, I did that. I'm going to get in trouble." They know
And
it.
that breaks your heart even more.
Yeah, yeah. It does. It does. They are the smart. They are smarter than we are in many, many
They're
ways.
it's insane how smart. We could go on, and people are going to go, what's going on with these two people?
What are they talking? We're
What's
talking
going
about whatever.
we're talking about stuff that people don't even care. I mean, like
Yeah,
Bob Newhart and
yeah.
David Steinberg, and
Well,
people that they don't even know
and we keep coming back to dogs.
because dogs are pure,
Yeah,
and the world needs purity right now. We need
exactly.
purity. We need love. We need hippies.
We need to be that way with each other.
We do. We need love.
Yeah.
Love.
Well, Jill,
You and I are doing it.
this is one of the longest interviews I think I've done. I am gonna have to let you go because I got to get it ready and get it online tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to
This
do
was
it.
fun, though. I had fun with you.
Exactly. We have a lot of fun. We'll keep doing this. I mean, we'll
Okay,
do
let's
another
do
one
it.
maybe later on, and we'll
Let's
bring you
do.
back and see what you've been up to.
Wait, Benny, come here. Benny,
Okay.
Benny. Come here. Come here.
Oh,
Benny.
I see. I can see him in the corner of the
Can you see
screen
him?
just a
Come here.
little bit. He's barely
Here
there.
he is. Here he
He's going
is.
to come pick him up so we can
Here.
see.
Hold on. Hold
See this dog we've been talking about for so long. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, what kind of dog is he?
He's one half beagle,
Mm.
and the other half is American Staffordshire.
Oh, wow.
He's my husband.
So he's a mix too.
Is he gorgeous or
He
what?
is. He is. Wonderful dog. Say hi. Hi to everybody, dog.
Hi. Hi, baby. Say hi.
Oh, goodness. He's so cute. Okay. Well, I'm going to shut her down now and say goodbye
Okay,
to you.
Ken, this
And
was so much fun. Thank you
stay on
very
the
much.
line after I close out the show. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed, Jill. And
I did.
we'll see you next
bam.
time.
Okay, yeah.
Goodbye.